Yeah, that was bonkers. That was a lot faster than I thought.
G'day, Stu from UAV Futures here, and today, well, what we're looking at, it is a little toothpick from Avant, and let me tell you, this one is aimed first and foremost at you racers. It is the fastest toothpick I have ever seen, and you wait till you see the flight performance later in this video. It is just punching a hole in the sky on rails. It is very, very impressive stuff, but it's not going to be for everybody, because definitely you beginners, all that sort of stuff, freestylers, well, we're going to be splitting the toothpick community, and it makes absolute sense. We'll talk about this towards the end of the video. But this one is going to be a little bit divisive, so what we should do, let's break it down. We're going to put on the bench, look at the text and the specs, and then we're going to out to the field, screaming around, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to link this down below. I'm not sure if it's a bind and fly or just the frame, so check the links down below, because we are talking about this little toothpick from Avant on the scales. Tear these off. It is coming in at 57 grams, so a relatively light little well-sized toothpick, and when you see the performance this thing has, you will... Do I need to just stop talking about performance, because it's got me very, very excited. If we stick it on the bench and let's go through some of the components. First things first, you'll notice it has a unibody frame right here. It is relatively stiff and I'm not sure how I feel about that. You can see just how thin these arms are, and when you see the speeds that this thing gets, well, if you're going to be flying around this in concrete or underground car parks, this is not the toothpick for you. So this one is definitely, think of this just like a racing frame. Of course, starting at the outside in, where's my little chopstick? Starting at the outside, we've got some HQ props, some bi-blades. Underneath that, we've got some 1103s, 7,650 kV, so a bit of a strange kV. Moving towards the middle, of course, we've just got our standard sort of stuff, and most drones seem to be following the suit. We've just got our flight controller, a VTX, a ESC with Betaflight OSD, all that sort of stuff in a nice little stack. No biggie. That stuff is all fairly similar, but one star of the show at the front, we've got a beautiful run cam camera at the front, and the footage you get back from this, it's gorgeous for this toothpick style. On the back, we have a lovely little TPU antenna with a single dipole on the back and a full-size XM Plus receiver, so you don't have to worry about range or anything like that when you are screaming this thing around, which is good, because it is definitely going to be going a long way very quickly if you're not paying attention. Now, what I want to do, let's move on, talk about the design of the thing, and this is where you can see this tiny little frame. This is really what comes together. Avant, they've been making, I think it was back in 2016, they've been in the game for a long time. They have been making some of the fastest drones in existence. They keep pushing the boundaries on just how fast they want things to go, and our original one, back when I spoke about it, it was, I think, 111 miles per hour. We'd never seen any drone that came anywhere close to that in 2016. So the original Avant Devil, those guys know what they're doing. They are always pushing the boundaries, and this one is no exception, but now it's in the toothpick side of things. So I like the design. It's definitely made for you racers out there. Moving on, talking about the quality, and I've just got to say, the quality of the components and the quality of the flight out there is just... it's a 10. It absolutely smashes it with what they've done and how it performs. I think people are going to be very, very happy, but it's not made for you freestylers, and we'll talk about that in our next bit, which is the pros and the cons. Now, first things first, let's get the cons out of the way. This thing is going to be too fast. It is not for beginners. It's too fast, and also it is definitely a racer's frame. If you want to do freestyle with something in the toothpick class, you are much, much better suited to the Armaton Tadpole, because that thing's got a warranty. It's a little bit slower with some shorter flight times, but it can take a beating much more. This one, I'm not too sure how it's going to hold up if you're crashing into concrete or bandos or anything like that, because it's just, you know, normally I don't worry about that with toothpicks because they're so light, but when you see the speeds, like I keep saying, well, you'll understand if you crash full speed into a wall, it might come off second best. Moving on, talking about the pros of the things, and this is where you've got to get excited if you're a racer. This thing absolutely screams. It has crazy flight performance. If you look at it, it handles like it's on rails. It is ultralight. You've got a beautiful camera at the front, so you've got a nice FPV feed streaming back to you, and it slices through the air. It is made for people who, you might have a craft and you think, gee, I want to, this is kind of made for people like Ranger, professional racers. You might be racing your 5-inch on the weekend, you've got a small backyard, you just want to practice a couple of those tight maneuvers, split S's, whatever it is, some flying through some flags gates. This bad boy is going to let you practice the same way that Armaton Tadpole lets you practice your freestyle. This is made for you racers who just really want to push it to the limits, get as much stick practice as you can, and just have balls to the wall, crazy flight experiences in this toothpick size. So that's it on the bench. What we should do, let's go out to the field or rip around. Oh, and it's got a full-size receiver. That's another plus too. The range is definitely good. What we should do, let's go out the field, rip it around, see what some of the other boys think, and yeah, just have some fun with the Avant toothpick, and you will see why I will not shut up when I'm talking about the performance. So let's do it. Go have some fun in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I just ate a fly. Radio out here in the field. Let's do it with the little Avant Micro right here. We'll rip it around, see what it's like, show you some DVR for like a toothpick style bottom mount, and then hand it over to the wingman over here and see what he thinks as well. Let's do it. Radio, here we go, on board. There's a couple things I want to mention, but also when we finish this video, look how excited I am after my flight. I don't think I could have a better reaction, and also Jono's reaction as well, because I knew this would probably fly pretty well, judging by the specs and my experience, but I was not expecting it to fly like this. The absolute speed you get from this thing is ridiculous. A little blip of the throttle and it just disappears into the sky. So first and foremost, if you get this quad, you need to be ready to handle some of the performance. It is a rocket, and I don't think that it's going to be suited to beginners, because it's just going to be zipping around. It's like buying an F1 car and giving it to a learner driver. That's not where this is at. I mean, look at this. This property is fairly large where I'm flying, and it is just absolutely tearing it up and covering an awful lot of space, especially for just such a tiny little 3-inch thing. Now, it is sucking down the juice a little bit, probably more than I realized. I know I'm pushing it fairly hard as well, so you could probably get maybe a 3-minute flight time if you were taking it easy, or if you're just kind of going crazy, which I was really trying to push this thing, I'm getting about a 2-minute flight time. So overall, I'm going to say the flight characteristics are gorgeous. I'm really happy that it's got a nice camera in the front, and you can get some long range as well, and I think that's going to make a difference for a lot of people. First, those ones that have an inbuilt receiver, having a good cam, a good receiver in here means you can get the proper flight experience when you're screaming around. And look, there's another little punch out, and look how high we are. And of course, one thing to mention too, this is a fairly small battery. It might be better suited to about a 400 milliamp size, so that's probably what I'd be putting on here. XT30 is great. It means you can deliver the current that it's got, but yeah, overall a fun little quad, no oscillations, hardly any prop wash, and really only suited for you expert racers, because I imagine if you got a bunch of these together, it would be a serious race. This in the hands of someone like Granger is going to absolutely carve it up, and this would be the perfect tool for him kind of to practice ripping around and just having a good time with it, practice some of his maneuvers. You can see he can do a little bit of acro, but it's really first and foremost a racing quad. But what we should do, let's hand it over to Wingman Jono. You can see my battery is absolutely dying right here. I probably should be bringing it in a little bit past 2 minutes, doing a huge power loop. Look at that, that's absolutely massive. But yeah, overall, and then I think my battery just died. So that was it. Let's head over to Jono, see what he thinks. Woo, well, that was something else, the Avant Micro. What did you reckon? Just having I almost crashed into us, because let me say, I ran out of battery there at the end. I was only airborne for 2 minutes and I was coming straight at us. Yeah, because it did suck the juice. But what did that look like in the air, seeing that thing?
Hey, man, it's hammering along. It looks like it's pulling around like a proper 3-inch sort of thing. It's like really like, yeah, it's got some guts on it, that's for sure. It does, but yeah, power to weight ratio seems like it's really on point. It's like super light. Those props are so thin, man. Like, yeah, it's no surprise it can haul around. Like that was really cool watching it fly. That was like, yeah.
Alright, so you ready to I guess about the frame, anything that you like, don't like, or any of that sort of stuff? Or you just want to have a rip?
No, like in terms of like it's real, just it's bare bone basics, like simple by the looks of it. We just got simple bi-blade props that are light, they're not too heavy. We got enough power in the motors, but they're not too big. Yeah, and everything else is just trim and minimal, and like, yeah, power to weight. Power to weight's where it's at if you want to have some fun.
All right, let's do it. Here's a pack.
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm keen to give this a guy a go. Rip around, I'll eat some more flies.
Do it the other way. Do the lead up this end.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Man, those flies were killing me though.
Man, like at the end of the day, the amount of these that I've eaten, I'm not going to need to have a protein shake for the gym. it's good, it's sorted.
Look at Jono just flexing there, literally in the gym and flexing. I've go to the gym. Mate, you've done more exercise than I've done.
Tried, but still fatty.
Do you need some help strapping that in?
Oh, just trying to work out how to get the cords out of the props.
No, that's fine.
Here, okay, swap up.
Right, so you just put the battery on like normal.
Yeah.
And then just plug it in. You don't have to do anything fancy.
The straps in so
but
get cut.
They're not going to get cut because
Oh, that's right. You got your little rappy technique. Look at this.
Oh, not even. That's not even a technique. But what I mean is that once it's under here, it's not going to bounce up.
Yeah. Killer. Look at that. That's how you plug it in.
See?
For noobs. Plugging in your quad for noobs. I'm clearly a noob because I couldn't plug it in. Yep. Sorry, just getting my goggles in line. What do we got? And is that your average per cell? I see. Yeah. You don't have a full voltage on there.
Just think 2 minutes. Can you just do a punch, just straight up, just...
Whoa! Okay, one of the motors did sag out a little bit, but because I think it's because I was jerking the throttle like a mofo. Yeah, that's better. Oh wow, it's a bit quick, isn't it?
That's what I
was like-
felt.
I was
almost
like-
crashed a few times because of the speed. See?
Far out. Okay, I'm like, yeah, you know, we got all these like trees and we got these micros and I can weave around and have a fun time, but this thing is holy moly, it's off it's fire, man. It's cruising. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, it feels like oh man. It feels like a racing quad.
Yep.
Yeah, straight up. In a review, this feels like a racing quad. This is
It is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? What the
oh crap. Oh wow, that stopped so quick.
What happened?
I nearly flogged it into a tree and I just turned it and gave it a quick slap on the throttle and it just dead stop in the air. Wow, yeah, okay, it's got performance, it's got speed. Like I said before, power to weight ratio, man. It seems like they've got it pretty on point.
What about the tune?
Tune is, now that I'm flying around, it's pretty good. That initial like jerky punch out I did, we sort of dropped the motor there. But I think it was because I jerked the throttle like to 0 and then punched it like straight up all in like 2 seconds, like, well, not even 2 seconds, like a fraction of a second. So, you know, you get that on a few quads really if you're jerking the throttle around.
So tune, good or not?
Yeah, now that I'm flying, yeah, it feels good, man. It does, yeah.
Oscillations?
No, I'm not copping any prop wash. I'll get right in my own wash and we'll see what we get. No, not really any prop wash. No, it's pretty good. Yeah, it feels responsive, feels fast, turns on a dime.
Is this the fastest micro you've ever flown?
This feels like a racing quad. I feel like if you wanted to have like this is like if you wanted to have a race but not have the craziness of fight. Oh wow, that battery is gone. Whoa, sorry, I've cooked your battery.
That's fine. Oh mate, you're still flying, that's good. Or is it dead?
Oh,
Jeez. Learn to fly, Jono.
oh you got it all wrong. You know, we said it before, I'm a lefty. Okay,
You can unplug and then tell me what you think.
so that...
Is this the fastest micro you've ever flown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was bonkers. That was a lot faster than I thought. This is the kind of thing where it's like, if you want to race but you don't want to go full 5 inches, you could easily get your mates cruising around on like a smaller scale racetrack with this, and it's gonna be just as hot and furious as a normal race, man. Like that was bonkers. Wowee. Yeah, I'd love to do a spec race with these. Like if we all had these,
It would be pretty ridiculous.
It would be absolutely bonkers. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's a thumbs up from me. Power to weight ratio, offer absolutely bananas. Yeah, love it.
Nice. I think that's a pretty glowing review. Thanks, Jono.
Radio, so there it is. There's my review with a little Avant micro toothpick thingy, and overall, I've got to say, I am impressed. No, it's not going to be for everybody. It's not for you freestyle pilots out there. This is just for you people who are after extreme speeds, ripping around, and it's the same with all quads, no matter what class they're in. We have freestyle pilots, we have freestyle toothpicks, we have racing pilots, we have racing toothpicks. So if you fit into this later category, you want something you can take it around, scream around, even if you wanted to do a little bit of freestyle, but you're not flying over bandos, it's not made for concrete. If you just wanted to scream this thing around the park, impress some of your friends with beautiful flight characteristics, just have an awesome time in the air, definitely check this bad boy out. I'm going to put the link down below. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Drop some comments. Huge love to Avant. Subscribe for more FPV related action, and as always, happy flying.